straightforward, right? It's very, very layered. It's very,
What does that do to a woman when the strong man in their life who's the breadwinner all of a sudden disappears, gone to a different country? You feel, where's he gone? And you don't see him,
mm.
and you grow up. What sort of trauma does that cause in terms of you're meeting somebody now?
Wow. Well, it left a hole in my heart for sure. It left a hole in my heart. I could never fully love. I couldn't love because I had very pure love as a child, and then when he left, it really hardened me, and I just created so many walls to protect myself from never experiencing that kind of pain again, of like the man I loved and looked up to and idolized, my father, leaving me, my sister, and it created, I had this void. I felt like I could never love. I never thought I'd really love. And I wasn't that self aware then as well. But um,
See this barrier that you've put up.
I didn't really see it that clearly. I could feel like hardened, but I don't think I could see it that clearly as you do with age. That's another thing that comes with age. It's wisdom, and it's clarity. You have more openness to be self-aware and reflect. So you asked, how did this manifest in my relationships with men?
Did they ever say to you that, why are you so,
Oh
why do you
yeah.
have a
Okay,
bad?
my sister used to call me the ice queen because I was very icy. I was very closed off in a way. Like she was still so loving, and like her heart would just like ooze love and warmth and affection. And I just wasn't like that. I just really closed off. So I never wanted to be abandoned again after that experience. So, what I would do is I would only ever go for guys that I felt were more invested in me, that were more kind of guys that were absolutely smitten and head over heels for me, where that's what made me feel safe. They had to love me more because then they wouldn't leave me. If they love me so much, obviously, this is very unhealthy. This is not, I do not recommend that at all. This is the wounded, traumatized version of myself that I've now worked on to heal that. But I would only ever go for men where I felt like they had to be so into me and they were never going to leave me.
Right. I feel that that balance is wrong,
Yeah.
because I've always felt that a woman needs to love you, but love a man more. I'm not even going balance.
Okay.
I've always thought that a woman needs to love a man more than he sort of loves her.
Why do you think that?
I feel that women are more emotional and they're more connected that way. Men are less emotional. Men don't need a lot. They really don't. They need sort of three sort of basic things. They want their belly full. That makes them happy. They don't want an earful. They don't want to hear like nagging and stuff like that. And yeah, I hope my mom's not watching, but they just want their balls drained, really. And them three things is, men are just very simple creatures. And if you've got a woman who's giving you that security, why are you gonna leave? Why are you gonna go with somebody else when you sit down together, you have good food together? She's not doing your head in, so he makes it very simple. I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna smash the hammer, come home, here's the money, we're all good. And he's satisfied. So why is he gonna need to sort of look anywhere else? But I feel if you love a woman more, I just feel personally, I feel that it's a bit unattractive for a woman. That if a man's all in love with you and all over you, and she doesn't feel that she could lose you, I think genetically on a different vibration level, I think a woman would be like, this is too much. That's how I feel.
Yeah, so this
Um,
is what I'm saying. Like, with your theory of women should love the man more, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it should be a balance of mutual love and respect. That's really what I feel. I feel like you should both love and appreciate each other and give each other what one another needs. and that's it. It's simple.
It
It's
is
simple.
simple. It is
This is what I feel.
simple.
So with my version of myself was my unhealed version. I would never be like that
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying
Yeah.
before. Like I would never recommend that to anybody. This is
Yes.
the wounded version of myself
Yes.
that was living in my trauma, and I had to work very hard to overcome that.
How do you do that? How do you pull that barrier
So I
down?
started with
Because
the
you start showing your vulnerable side then, don't you?
exactly. I never wanted to be hurt again. I never wanted to feel that pain again of somebody leaving me like that. Although it did happened again. It did happen again. But
Wow.
yeah, so it did happen again, but I never wanted to experience that. And even though I ended up meeting somebody who was head over heels for me, was absolutely smitten, you know, he ended up leaving me as well. And so I was abandoned again. And imagine then the effect that had on me. Then again, you kind of more wounds and it becomes deeper, the pain becomes deeper. And so it took me a very long time to undo that. It started with the therapy, right? So the therapy was very healing for me. And it wasn't just that, it was other inner work. It was like looking at my shadow side, like looking the self awareness. Everything starts with self awareness. So even to seek out therapy, you have to be self aware. You have to know, like, reflect, stop, pause. If you notice a reoccurring pattern of behavior in yourself that you don't like, pause, reflect, journal, like observe. What is this? What is this within me that is causing me to behave like this? Right? So when you have that and then you need to have that desire to change it, to enhance your life and improve your life. So then that's when you would seek out support, like from a therapist or a coach or a mentor. That's when you would take those next steps.
If there was a short answer on how to press that reset button of things not happening in your life, what would it sort of be that people need to go through that path?
What do you mean things not happening in your life?
So it's just like you said, conditions were put on you where your father left.
Mhm.
It caused trauma, it caused problem in your relationship. If somebody's on that path of hurt, pain, and there's a specific part of their life that there's conditions there because things have happened in the past and that fear barrier comes up, is there is there a method that they need to sort of go down to try fix it, if that makes sense?
So it is exactly what I just described. And it's not, there's no like magic button that will just help one reset themselves, sadly. Because imagine we have had years of trauma, years of pain, conditioning as well, years of becoming the person that we've become today, years of building behavioral patterns. So, just as it's taken us years to build these and form them, it takes years to undo it as well. So, even though I've dealt with and healed so much of my early childhood trauma and trauma caused even later in life, there's still so much that I am yet to address, yet to explore. Like at 41, I've lived many, many lives. I've had so many things I've experienced. There's so much that I still have to deal with. And even the childhood stuff, it doesn't go away overnight. Like it's still process. I've noticed that, even though I've done so much healing work with my relationships with men, still I'll notice triggers. Let's say if I'm talking to somebody that I like, I'll still notice little things where I'm trying to, like feel safe. And the way that I communicate or the way that I notice these things, but that's the key is the self awareness that I said. So now I can notice and I notice where I've gone wrong and I'm able to tweak my approach. I'm able to process. Okay, I didn't like those triggers resurfacing. It's normal for that to resurface. I didn't like it. So let me course correct. Let me fix my behavior, right? And it's good. We need these triggers to be able to learn and grow. Otherwise, we won't know if what is going, we don't know what issues we're still carrying if they're just dormant. We do need these situations to also help us see what we need to see.
I know